and welcome to Finextra. I'm Emily Horler and I'm here with Nick Armstrong from Identitii, and we're at Cybos 2016 in Geneva. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Emily.
How close to the market is mainstream adoption of distributed ledger technology?
We're at a really interesting time in adoption of DLT. Last year was spent really focused on finding use cases for the technology. So applications around value transfer. So for example, I want to move a share from one party to another, or I want to move value such as money from one party to another. Whereas this year, the use cases are starting to get a bit more around information sharing. And so what Identitii is looking at is using DLT to enable exchange of information about payments without any settlement at all. So we're seeing a real movement from simple use cases to slightly more different use cases that have a bit more complexity. And I think the real test this year is, can it happen now, or is it going to take another 5 years for it to happen? And I think some of these applications can really happen now in the next 12 to 18 months.
And what are the killer apps for DLT in your view?
So the killer apps are going to be those that can work with existing legacy systems within banks. That is something that is going to take a long time to change. Upgrading core banking systems is slow and costly. And so what we think the killer app is going to be with DLT is something that can work with those existing systems and doesn't require all the plumbing to be ripped up and replugged in. And that's the really exciting next use case, I think, for DLT. And we think it's largely around compliance. So we think things like improving KYC, AML, looking at sanction screening, anything that requires a single source of truth for information, where DLT becomes key.
What are some of the benefits of DLT?
Well, anything that really requires a single source of truth for information, this is the benefit of DLT. So DLT is a shared database, which means that every party that's invited to see that database can see it. So you've got public and private DLTs. Private are those which are hosted over a private network. A lot of banks are testing private DLTs at the moment. Public DLTs are those which are viewable by anyone in the public. The real benefit is in the exchange of information in a trusted way between parties who don't necessarily trust each other. And that is where the compliance use cases really start to become interesting. And it's that exchange of information that's the key benefit of DLT in our view.
Nick, thank you very much.
Thanks, Emily. Thank you.
And thank you for watching.